All right, so I don't know what his soapbox event, whatever. So I've been seeing a lot on social media where athletes are sharing like they don't do athletics or they're not an athlete anymore, and now they wish they would have been prepared for what's next. And although I definitely understand where athletes are coming from, it's also tough for me to fully believe that all of them were not given resources or the opportunity to prepare. I was in a role at player development at 3 universities. We definitely work with our athletes. A lot of them took advantage of it, but there were some athletes who didn't. I got one athlete who literally is doing well, and he's like, man, nobody prepared us. And I almost commented on his post, like, man, I literally have messages of me telling you to come to this program and you didn't come. And so there's great professionals all around the world. And I talk about college football, college athletics, who literally, I know, do everything to prepare these athletes. And these athletes do not participate in it. You can't be prepared for something you don't participate in. And y'all know I love athletes, but I got to hold some athletes accountable. Some athletes don't have the resources, but they about to make me come off this break and do another podcast episode. And it's not because I'm like, you should have been prepared, I don't want to come, but it's like athletes on campus. If you're an athlete watching this, you have resources to prepare you. The thing that's hard with athletes, specifically football, I'm gonna talk football, is everybody thinks they're going to the league. You're not going to the league. And I don't come out and say that to them because they don't want to hear that, right? So I always say, hey, let's prepare for whenever the ball stops playing. Because the honest truth is, even if somebody goes to the league and they play for 10 years, they're still 20, they're in their early 30s, right? So it's interesting because there are, like I said, and do your research. Most programs have a student athlete development department. They talk about career, they talk about mental health, they talk about, they have academic support, they get them connected to alumni, mentorships, there's career fairs. Trust me, these individuals at these athletic departments are burning the midnight oil and doing way more than they're paid to help athletes be prepared for what they say and they're not. There are professionals that are they're working 12-hour, 14-hour days, getting paid $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, and they are creating resources, creating, like I said, career fairs, getting alumni, getting networking nights and all this. And you would be shocked. You would be shocked for you all that are like, well, why won't the athletes take advantage? How many athletes show up? So you can't make things mandatory, right? And we want to make things mandatory, but the athletes will fight back on that, right? The same ones, not all, but the same ones who are saying they're not prepared would fight back on mandatory programming. So you do programming, you do all this, you get all this set up, you pay for food, you pay for this, and then 20 athletes show up. 20 out of whatever. If you do something for our athletic department, it's 600 athletes overall, places I've been, and 50 show up, right? And so I bring this up so everybody can see both sides of this, because there are some on athletes too. They got to do their stuff too. And some schools don't have the resources, but the one I know there are a lot who do have resources, and athletes need. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to do a podcast episode on this. So I'm gonna give y'all an example. This is something that I did try to help my athletes when I was at the University of Houston. The Miami Dolphins were coming into town to play the Texans, and they had their director of player engagement, Caleb Thornhill, sent an email to athletics, to our department. Hey, we're gonna be in town. I'm gonna bring a couple people from the Dolphins. If any players want to learn about working in pro sports, we'll sit down with them. He brought 4 people. One of them was a senior vice president who was from Houston, rest his soul, Jason Jenkins. I think he went to Willow Ridge and played at Texas Tech. Senior vice president, right? 5 people from the Miami Dolphins sat on the panel. I'm sending flyers. I sent messages to the players. I go in the locker room before lunch. Hey, y'all, the Miami Dolphins here. You want to know how many of 120 of my players came to this? 2. You know how many of my players said they wanted to work in sports? 80. So it's tough for me. And parents, you need to know this. Parents of your athletes, you need to know this, because I've had parents, y'all didn't prepare my son. My son thought he was going to the league. Y'all recruited him and y'all used, of course, in recruiting, they're going to use NFL players because they want your son to come play. But the coach that's using the NFL player also understands that your son may not play. It's a 2% chance. 2% chance of people making a roster, and then it's like a 1% chance of getting on a roster, and it's like a 0.5% chance of making it to the second contract. So those numbers are there. Thankfully, I did have a lot of athletes that did take advantage of things that we did. So at Houston, Kansas, and Baylor, we did have more than most other places. But I just bring that up because I'm seeing all these videos, and these videos are great to bring awareness. But there's a lot of resources at these schools, and on campus. If athletics doesn't have the resources, every campus has a career advising deal. I think parents, athletes, and coaches have to be more realistic with what's going to happen here soon. If you're not an all-conference player or a freak athlete, you're not going to All right, so basically, to the athletes that are looking, go back to your universities. Those people will help you as well. You don't have to go through this transition alone. To the athletes that are still on campus, take advantage of the resources. They are there. I used to tell my guys all the time, as long as you got this helmet on, this is the best time of your life right now. Use it. Connect with people. For the parents that don't understand what the transition will look like, it's going to end at some point. It may be after college. It may be after NFL. Start being realistic. Stop putting those expectations on your kid. Ask them, hey, have you been to a career fair? Have you start having those hard conversations? It's tough, right? I mean, some of these athletes have been playing since they're 5 years old, and the end is tough. For the coaches, if you're watching this, coaches, make sure your people are prepared as well. Like, have the hard conversations. And then for those that are doing the work, keep doing the work. My student athlete development people, player development, athlete development people, player relations, player care, all that, player engagement. Y'all keep doing the work. Appreciate y'all.